Good evening, SMA, and welcome to the grand finale of the Motorsport South Africa Cup 2025. With 9 rounds completed, it is all comes down to this final showdown where we will find out who will be crowned champion of South Africa for 2025. I'm your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming, taking you through for the final time in what promises to be a dramatic close to this championship. Joining alongside me in the booth today is the sensational Rob G. Barker. Welcome in, my friend, and how are you feeling today?
Oh, Flawed, let's get this one underway already. I have been waiting since last week to get back in the commentary booth to watch this fantastic, no doubt, final.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, can't wait for this one, but great to have you back alongside me today. But it is also important to shout out our sponsors for the very last time. So the MSA Cup 2025 is sponsored by TGSC Cape Town Golf Academy, the hotbed of nurturing young potential to golfing greatness. An academy with a breadth of history for producing talent on the world stage. If you feel you have what it takes to become South Africa's next global star, TGSC is the place to be. We are also sponsored by SimulatorCave.com, South Africa's haven for all your sim racing equipment, selling only the highest recommended products from the likes of Fanatec and Moser, as well as racing cockpits for that perfect driving experience. Contact JP for all his helpful and friendly advice, and if you're still not convinced, book yourself a tour of the shop and test drive many of their sim rigs available so you get the full sim experience and leaving behind any of your doubts. Link is in the description below for that one. And thank you so much to our official sponsors for the whole of 2025 season of the MSA Cup. We are also in association with Motorsport South Africa, the only place for official GT7 leagues on behalf of South Africa, and Sim Motorsport Association, growing the sport together. Also, please do contact Robin Williams, our MSA GT7 promoter, for further details and whether or not you do want to get hooked up into the future seasons ahead of us. The email links will be in the description below and on our YouTube homepage. So, with all that said and done, Rob, please explain to us the details for tonight's grand finale.
Yes, thanks once again, Flawed, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to one of the most storied and iconic battlefields in all of motorsport. We are indeed live from the legendary Circuit de la Sarthe for the race that embodies endurance, speed, and pure racing spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Le Mans. First raced in 1923, Le Mans is the home of endurance racing, the 13.6 kilometre and anywhere between 21 and 38 corners, depending on how you count the complexes, that is. The circuit is a brutal combination of permanent track and public roads winding through the French countryside. From the tight technical turns of the Dunlop chicane to the endless power stretch of the Mulsanne straight is a track that demands everything from both driver and machine. Le Mans isn't just about outright speed though, it's about managing the car, managing the tyres, the brake, and including yourself as a driver over every grueling lap. The high-speed Porsche curves will punish even the smallest mistake, while braking into the Mulsanne corner is one of the hardest stops in motorsport. And let's not forget, slipstream battles here can go on for absolute kilometres. But today's grid is a mix of raw pace, calculated patience. Some will be pushing for glory from the very first lap, while others might sit back and bide their time and wait for that perfect opportunity to strike. But at Le Mans, fortunes can change in an instant. One lock-up, one missed apex, one daring overtake could decide it all. The skies look clear at the moment, but it is Le Mans. It could hold the threat of rain as weather can turn in a moment's notice. Strategy will be key once again, whether it's maximising that tyre life, finding the perfect slipstream, or nailing the crucial pit window. But the engines are primed, the nerves are steel, and the stage is set. From Tetrud to Arnage, from the Mulsanne straight to Ford chicane, this is where legends are made. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because Le Mans is where we will crown this season's MSA Cup champion. So for this evening's race, the settings will be a 10-minute qualifying session. It will be grid start with false start check. Tyre wear will be set to 3. Fuel will also be set to 3. Refueling at 7 litres per second. It is a 16-lap race. All tyre compounds are available, but none are mandatory. Now, let's take a look at what our competitors will be driving. So today, the drivers will be taking part in the Le Mans race in the Gran Turismo F3500A. Paying homage to the bygone era of F1, the drivers will be competing in the F3500. From its naturally aspirated V12, it offers a whopping 773 brake horsepower at 14,000 RPM and weighing in at only 505 kilogram, an incredible weight to power ratio of 0.64 kilogram per Fiat Starker for our European friends, but for the rest of us, that is 1,540 horsepower per tonne. Just for an equivalence, the Bugatti Chiron is 750 horsepower per tonne, and a modern 2025 F1 car only offers around 1,200 horsepower per tonne. This thing is an absolute weapon. So with the race details confirmed, Flawed, please take us through the results of the last round.
Thank you very much, Rob. This is the review of round 9 of the MSA Cup, and we was at the Temple of Speed in Italy for the penultimate race of the season. It was Tiernan Leviti's once again fastest in qualifying to lead from the front in this 28-lap race at Monza. Surprisingly, as clean as it gets for the race start, all drivers making it through safely for the first chicane. However, Tiernan Latari, who was banned from qualifying, started from the back and made up for lost time, making up 2 positions to move up into P10. A strange tale of events saw VSR Giller power past Puma Nutcap into P6 at Parabolica, the end of lap 2, but as he went down the pit wall straight, Giller tried to take the narrowest of lines and became the wall's best friend by careering head-on straight into the wall for the kiss of death. This would end his race prematurely with engine damage. On lap 3, leading up to turn 1, Tiernan Panic Potato on the full offensive would look to challenge the VSR drivers in front using that triple slipstream handed to him down the pit wall straight. He would push his way past VSR Fish to move into P4, but with a VSR blockade in front, side by side, he would have to remain patient to challenge for that podium in the coming laps. Because by lap 5, leading up to the first chicane, firmly in the tow of both VSR drivers Richard and JDJ, as the gap opened up, he would sneak his way between both of them, trying to prize open an opportunity, as 3 certainly doesn't go into 1. But he has still forced the issue. Potato would perform the old switcheroo on Richard for a clever maneuver and execute it to perfection to move into a podium spot. For the last turn of lap 8, a 3-horse race was developing for P5. Puma Nutcap, behind the 2 in P7 at the time, went for a sneaky move up the inside when the door was left slightly ajar to move up into P5. However, Tiernan Lightning Lorry, outfoxed originally on the outside, had other ideas. Who had the overspeed because of that long straight, was able to use the slip to retake that P5 from Nutcap that was originally stolen from him. On lap 11, TNR Panic Potato looked like he had the upper hand on VSR JDJ for P2. However, Potato made a slight error on the exit of the second chicane, struggling for traction, and JDJ did better to power into P2. Later on in the race, with both drivers on different strategies, JDJ with the soft tyres, Potato with the hards, he knew he couldn't afford to be held up by Potato on inferior tyres. Looked like he timed his overtake to perfection on the straight to move into P2, but later on, roles would be reversed with Richard just behind in fourth, also on the hard tyres. But on lap 23, with Fish and Puma Neil fighting for position, Neil would slow down on the exit of the Ascari on the racing line. With Richard approaching at a speed of knots, he had to take evasive action by running wide, crucially picking him up a track limit penalty, losing hope for a podium position as he needed it from this race. At the start of the last lap, TNR Potato flying at this point on the soft tyres, but with the tyre deg diminishing by the corner, knew it was now or never to make the move on VSR JDJ. He powered past him before we got into the Rettifilio chicane to steal that P2 away from JDJ. It will be a close battle between the two to the checkered flag. Because TNR Levitius, who led from the front from start to finish with another dominant display, grabbed his 5th victory of the season to put him in prime position to take home the MSA Cup Championship ahead of round 10. In the second, TNR Panic Potato just had enough in the tyres to hold off VSR JDJ for 3rd. VSR Richard, who needed so much better, finishes in 4th. And in 5th, it was VSR Fish with a close battle with VSR Wolfie to finish in 6th. TNR Latari finishes in 7th position. And at the end, with TNR Lightning Lorry running out of fuel at the last turn, VSR Nitro Merlin powers past for 8th and Puma Neil for 9th, with Lightning Lorry dropping to 10th. So that is how things ended for round 9 of the MSA Cup, but how does that affect things in the point standings after 9 rounds? So with TNR Levitius recording his 5th win of the season at Monza, it means he has extended his lead to VSR Richard to 16 points going into this last round of the MSA Cup. He sits on 2,779 points. If Richard has any chance of claiming this season's title, he needs to win today, and Levitius will need to finish 7th or worse. With VSR JDJ sitting in 3rd, 8 points back on Richard, he has already secured his podium position for the season. In 4th is Panic Potato, who will remain there after this race, and with TNR Papaya Racer in 5th, just 3 points separating him to VSR Fish in 6th position. In 7th, we have his teammate VSR Gilla, just 2 points better off than fellow VSR driver Wolfie in 8th place. In 9th is Puma's Nil, 7 points in front of VSR Nitro Merlin, who occupies 10th. Holding 11th by the skin of his teeth is MGR Kennels, just a single point in front of TNR Latari for 12th. And then we have a tight battle for not finishing at the foot of the table, with Puma Nutcap in 13th, just 3 points in front of TNR Lightning Lorry, who occupies 14th. But best of luck to all the drivers tonight, where we'll have a 10-minute qualifying ahead of us of this ahead of this 16-lap race here at the famous Circuit de la Sarthe for the grand finale, round 10 of the MSA Cup. So we'll be back in a few moments' time. Okay, so with the drivers just putting in their final checks and preparations ahead of this race here at the Circuit de la Sarthe, I have to say, Rob, this is one of these particular circuits with these cars as well, where it's certainly going to be a challenge for the drivers. And in fact, we are just about to I thought qualifying was about to start, but it looks like VSR Giller just changing the room settings now. Of course, Rob, we know that there could be a spot of rain on the horizon today.
Yeah, weather is definitely going to play a factor in this race this evening. It's only 16 laps, but with each lap sort of coming in around the 3-minute mark. That pit strategy, depending on whether or not the weather front comes in and how severe that weather front will be, pit stops could mean everything in this race. Yes, indeed. And these cars already a handful for the drivers as well, and Potato really showing off on the racetrack right now as he spins up the rear tyres. Really showing off, and there we go, qualifying just about to get underway. And of course, something that we didn't even think of is that we are starting at dawn as well, so the tyres are going to be cold, the track's going to be cold, and visibility's possibly not going to be the best for the drivers either, so a lot for the drivers to contend with, and of course it's going to be very interesting today. A lot of nerves out there on the track, a lot at stake for some of the drivers as well, including Levitius. Now he is in prime position to take this championship today, however, with the nature of the car being very easy to make mistakes, he'll have to make sure he keeps it on the track and try to finish 6th or better to claim the MSA champion title for 2025, Rob. Yeah, indeed. Obviously, with the cars that we drive in, no headlights on the front, so they will be relying on the street lamps and the lamps, particularly around the pit area. But coming down the back of the Mulsanne straight, there's absolutely no lights at all, so going to be difficult. Qualifying is only 10 minutes, which means after that out lap is done, they're probably going to get one recorded lap. Yes, indeed. Yeah, with 10 minutes and the duration of a lap around here over the 3-minute mark as well. It does mean, yes, you are correct there, Rob, that it is going to be key to keep it within the track limits on their hot laps to make it count for this 16-lap race we have here. But look at all the sparks going off in the background there. Oh, that's fantastic. For certain, normally you would say don't get into that slipstream, but with all the sparks coming from the cars, that could prove to be a little bit of a hindrance for the drivers there. Rather than me safely in the booth, just judging all the drivers out on track. It certainly looks pretty tricky for the drivers. Let's just have a look on the cockpit view there just to see what visibility will be like for the drivers. JDJ already securing his 3rd position, so prizes on offer for all the drivers come the end of the season, so JDJ will be in high spirits going into this race. But certainly one driver, VSR Richard, hoping for the race win and hoping that luck is on his side to maybe steal that championship away from Levitius, Rob. Yeah, sorry to the gasp of air there, Bran. We just change over to normal names rather than nicknames. So it is Giller. Just as he was making his way in towards the Ford chicanes to start his first qualifying lap, he's lost it. He's lost it. He was front of the pack. He's now waited. He's now at the back of the pack. So already before the laps have started, people are already off the track.
And this is literally on the hot lap, on the out lap as well. So yeah, a lot at stake here, and maybe a thing of a sign of things to come here, Rob. Because yeah, certainly, yeah, Giller. Perhaps feeling a little bit embarrassed, let's just say. But it does mean he's going to have a little bit of clean air to try and nail his lap now. So we'll see how he gets on. But we'll go back on board with Levitis. He's at the front of this train of Formula One cars. Now, these cars, of course, Rob, these are a throwback to the early 1990s era of Formula One. So I do believe around the sort of Nigel Mansell kind of era.
Yeah, absolutely. Sort of early 90s. There's a Benetton sort of aspect in there. It's a mixture of a multiple, quite a few of the early 90s, and with a little bit of F3.5 thrown in there as well. They are absolute nightmare to handle. Obviously 770 brake horsepower at the rear, MR car. The weight is slightly over the back of the vehicle. Aero works very different to what obviously a modern day F1 car would work like. They are certainly challenging, and the drivers clearly finding it challenging as well. We've got another driver right at the back. Who is that? Lightning Lorry seems to be well off the pack.
Yes, indeed, because of course Giller was at the back of the pack originally. In fact, it looks like he's on an out lap, so perhaps made a mistake on his hot lap, return to pit, and has he got enough time to set a hot lap? It's not looking likely, but we'll see. I think there's
It'll be close.
Yeah, I think there's a 3-minute cooldown at the end of this allotted 10 minutes, so he might just sneak it in there. But yeah, certainly not ideal preparations for his qualifying session. And of course, Vesa Wolfie as well, picking up a half-a-second penalty for cutting track limits. So again, not ideal for him. He's going to lose a chunk of time, particularly as he was in the slipstream to his teammate Fish. But maybe a blessing in disguise. We'll see. I have no idea on the actual dirty air behind the cars into the corners. So, yeah, we'll get on board with Levitis, because Levitis is about to come across the line now as he comes through the final few corners now. And as tidy as you like, as he comes across the line to set a 3-minute 2.6. Penny Potato, what's he got? He's got a 3-minute 4, and Chaz up into pole position with a 3-minute 2.2. Now that is a turn up for the books, as Nutcap comes into P3 as well with a 302.6. So the times are coming in thick and fast. VSR Richard only good enough for P7 because we got JDJ in P4, Paddy Potato P5 now. Giller is up into P6 with Wolfie just 500th of a second down on VSR Richard in P8. And then Latari Racing looks like he's really struggled. Comes across the line with a 3-minute 34.3 to be in P9. Lightning Lorry we're still waiting on, and it looks like Fish as well also resetting into the pits, Rob.
Yeah, I think the drivers it certainly looks like they're struggling. They're a little bit off the pace compared to their quali laps. I've just been driving on board with Chaz. He's purple through sector 2, but he got an absolute monster toe down the Mulsanne straight the first part of it, and he's on a flyer.
Well, we ride on board with Chaz now then as we come in to the second chicane of the Mulsanne straight now, and yes, over 6.5 tenths purple then going through sector 2, so certainly looking good for the pole position. Levitis is just in front of him now. I know that Levitis was a little bit worse for wear coming into this race, but he has actually gone purple here, Rob, by just over 4 tenths of a second, so he's certainly got something to prove here. So we'll see how he gets on here, because yeah, certainly we are expecting big things for Levitis. Now, he is obviously sitting very pretty at the top of the championship, but surely he'll want to win the MSA Cup in style by getting that race victory here at Le Mans, as he goes a little bit squirrely on the exit there, but he has gone over half a second purple, Rob.
Yeah, he did get a little bit squirrely out of Indianapolis there, and again through Arnage. But as you said, he's still purple. Chad's still on an absolute flyer as well. He will improve if he can keep the rest of the lap clean. But coming through, one of the bits that I find the most tricky, the Porsche curves. He's 0.6 of a second to the good. He will be the first over the line. If he can keep it within track limits, which he does ever so close on exit there, but we might as well stick on board. He's got a couple more corners to go into the Ford chicane. It goes left, it goes right, it goes left again. Where are we going to go? Is he going to be in the 301s?
Wow.
He is indeed a 301.4.
But Chaz coming across the line now. Oh, he just misses out on Levitius by just over 2.5 tenths to be in P2 with a 3-minute 1.7. But Levitius is on pole position, as Rob said there. 3-minute 1.456 for him. Nutcap isn't able to improve, remains in P3. JDJ also not improving by the looks of it. VSR Wolfie, however, has improved by a 1/10 of a second to remain in P5. Giller still in P6 as well. Levitis into the pit, so I do believe we've got a couple of minutes left of qualifying. VSR Wolfie still in P7, so definitely not good for VSR Rich's championship hopes, particularly with Levitius going to be leading from the front. So yeah, really shocking time for VSR Richard. He's hoping he'll be able to make it up in the race. But Paddy Potato P8 as well, Rob. Just a 10th down on VSR Richard, but that's certainly a shock.
Yeah, both the drivers look like they're struggling with this car. VSR Richard did improve on his personal best. He got a 304.1 the last time round, which was good enough for P7, as you said. 2.6 off the pace, and this lap, if he gets time to get round, which I don't think he will, he's still not going any quicker.
Well, we've got Lightning Laurie currently in P10 as he comes through the final corners to set a 3-minute 8 and move himself off the foot into P10. Fish, I'm not 100% sure if he has got enough time here. I think he has. Paddy Potato firmly in that slipstream as he looks to power past VSR Fish, but it looks like Fish has got later on the brakes then. And and he's gone sideways and into the wall, Rob.
Yeah, big snap out of the end of the Mulsanne there. She's coming on up towards Indianapolis. Turns the car completely around. Nutcap currently B3 as he makes his way up to Arnage, and he's done exactly the same, Flawed. Exactly the same on exit of Arnage. He's turned it around into the wall. That one is done.
Wow. So that's how easy it can happen then. And yeah, certainly, I mean, this is in dry conditions, Rob. Now we know that there is a bit of rain that is due to land on the circuit at some point during the race. So if they're having trouble now, then it is going to be a little bit of a messy affair, I think, come race time, I think.
Yes, I think you will see quite a few of the drivers going TC full if the weather comes down. A couple of the drivers who would typically not use traction control have opted another 360 in the background there. Was that JDJ doing another 360? I'm keeping on board with Paddy Potato because his lap is definitely quicker than his previous. He will get time to go over the line and he will jump forward. P4, 1.2 seconds better.
And Richard does improve as well, but remains in P8. VSR Giller, I think, no, he didn't improve, but remains in P7.
No improvement,
yeah. And this is how it is for the rest of the drivers. So we'll be back very shortly, guys. Okay, so the confirmed qualifying results from round 10 at the Circuit de la Sarthe. It was Tierna Levitius with a smoking time to start on pole position with a 3-minute 1.456. Starting alongside him in second position is his teammate Tierna Chaz with that 3-minute 1.7. So phenomenal laps from the two Tierna drivers. Then on row 2, we've got Puma Nutcap starting in P3 with Panic Potato, the Tierna driver there, who performed heroics on that final lap there to land himself in the P4 and starting on row 2. On row 3, we got VSR JDJ with his teammate Wolfie starting alongside him from P5 JDJ, P6 VSR Wolfie. P7 is VSR Giller with VSR Richards starting alongside him in P8 for row 4. On row 5, we've got Tierna Latari Racing starting for P9, and starting alongside him is his teammate Lightning Lorry, who will be starting from 10th position. And then VSR Fish with an absolute nightmare qualifying. He'll be starting on his lonesome from row 6 in P11. But what are your thoughts on that qualifying session, Rob?
Yeah, unbelievable pace up at the top, and Nutcap and Chaz doing a phenomenal job there. I did keep an eye on the practice session, and they were absolutely flying throughout the duration of practice, and they've hooked up a stellar lap there, a 3:017 for Chaz and a 3:023. Excellent stuff from them. Levy's lap is absolutely phenomenal. He didn't really put a foot wrong, and there was time to gain. He got a little bit loose at a couple of the corners. Cannot call the race at this point because I do think we will see a few off tracks. I do think we will see a few cars facing in the wrong direction, particularly when that weather front comes, but who knows. Sit back.
Yeah, sit back, relax, because I feel like this will be a very eventful race we've got in the final race of this MSA Cup Championship 2025. We'll be back in a few moments' time for the start of this race. Okay, so as we await the 5 red lights, we got Levitius and teammate Tierna Chaz starting on the front row as we got 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go as we start the last round of the MSA Cup at Circuit de la Sarthe. And Nutcap gets an excellent pull away from the start and moves up into P1 with a lightning start ahead of Chaz, and Levitius sinking down into P3 with Panic Potato challenging him for the 3rd position there. But they are as bunched up as can be, as JDJ just behind him P5, VSR Wolfie in P6, Gillo in P7, Fast in P8, Latari Racing P9, and then Richard losing 3 positions from his grid start in 10th position, and Lightning Lorry in P11. But we go back to the top of the grid because Nutcap is starting to pull away from Chaz. He's on the soft tyres. Chaz also on the soft tyres. Levitius has picked up a 1-second penalty for his troubles. He's going to go sinking down once he gets to the penalty line. But what a fantastic start we've seen here so far, Rob.
Unreal start from Nutcap. He saw a gap between Levy and Chaz. They were battling and almost battling their own little battle, and Nutcap said thank you very much coming through. Everybody starting on the soft tyre. Absolute right there. Not a great start for Richard and his champion contention. He's down in P10, and Levy with the 1 second. I think he'll be joining him very soon.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Chaz, able to propel himself up 1 position. He looked very, very fast in qualifying, but we didn't foresee this start from Nutcap. He's already developed a 1.2 second lead from the TNR drivers, and Levitius, of course, is going to have to serve that penalty very, very shortly as we come down the Mulsanne straight into the next turn then. and they've got to be very, very careful on the traction, but as clean as you like. Panic Potato firmly behind his teammate Levitius, with VSR JDJ looking to sweep up if any opportunity occurs, with VSR Wolfie and Giller and Fish all in a bit of a slipstream train from P6, 7 and 8. And look at all them sparks going off in the background there, Rob.
Yeah, it's really tough to follow these cars. I'm not sure whether I'm at a race or a firework display.
Oh, and Latari Racing!
Service penalty.
Latari Racing, around he goes into the barrier, and that has cost him 3 positions. Let's have a quick look on the replay and see exactly how that occurred. But here was Latari Racing then, as he went in to, was it Hollywood, isn't it? I do believe, or was it Arnage? Oh, and Arnage, sorry, yes. And yeah, round he went as he tried to get on the power, and he's already picked up damage to his car, Rob.
Yeah, it's going to be painful in this car. The challenging as it is, the last thing you need is to be carrying damage. Levy dropped down to P5 after his penalty, Flawed. Only lost a couple of spots. He didn't do too bad, but he's managed to pick up another 0.5 in the Ford chicane. That's 2 laps in a row with penalties. He's going to go backwards.
Yeah, indeed, and he doesn't want to sink too far down because, of course, you know, he's in prime position to take this championship. But as we've seen already with some of the drivers in the background, that it only takes one mistake, and that can absolutely crucify you in this race. VSR Fish also picking up a track limit penalty in P8. VSR Richard on a bit of a comeback in P9 at the moment, but 2.3 seconds is the gap between him and his teammate Fish for P8 and P9 respectively. Lightning Lorry in 10th position, and Latari Racing already into the pits from the back of the grid on them soft tyres. He will need to fix that damage, and he will probably go back on to soft tyres. I do wonder whether or not he changes the tyres or just gets that car repaired, but yeah, it's certainly not the ideal start for his race, Rob.
No, not at all, Flawed, not at all. Just to note, I'm not sure whether he picked this up in commentary. Panic Potato has made his way up to P2. Chaz has got a very good slipstream, and he seems to just be holding position for now. But Panic Potato up to P2, and the gap in front now, Flawed, he's nearly 4 seconds.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Nutcap having an absolute storming start to this race, and just minding his own business at the front of this battle, really. Panic Potato, as you just mentioned, up into P2 with Chaz firmly behind him in P3. He's going to be back up to his fellow teammate with JDJ sandwiched between the two TNR drivers of Chaz and Levitius, who Levitius will have to serve that half-a-second penalty in due course. But yeah, certainly line astern for a lot of the drivers at the moment, and there could be a few movers and shakers once Levitius takes his penalty, Rob.
Yeah, he's definitely going to lose a spot to Giller on this one, and maybe even Wolfie, who's only half a second. The penalty line is coming up, so yeah, coming out of Arnage now. The penalty line is now moves to the right hand side. Giller will go through. Will Wolfie go through as well? No, Levy shuts the door. Absolutely shuts the door. I think there was a little bit of contact there, no damage, but Levy's going straight back at it. Look, the inside of Giller. But Giller hangs it round the outside becomes the inside through the Porsche curves. Fraud, that could have been an absolute disaster.
It could have been, indeed. We do ride on board with Levitius now, who got a little bit out of shape out of the Porsche curves there. But yeah, certainly it could have been carnage, and just lucky that nothing calamitous did happen there. Oh, he goes a little bit wiggly on the exit, but he gets a better run than VSR Giller. They're going to be fighting side by side, but Giller has got the slipstream to his teammate JDJ, who really does help him out. But here comes Levitius down the inside to move up into P5. Giller can do nothing about it and just sit back behind him, Rob.
Yeah, what a move. Took some commitment there. There was a little wheel banging on the second part of the corner, but the move was pretty much done. Giller dropping into P6, but will pick up the slipstream if he can get... Oh, he nearly lost the back end there through Tetra Rouge. And his Levy has just gone past JDJ like he was standing still.
Yeah, indeed, this is very difficult to stay on board with. Action galore throughout the grid here as JDJ picks up the sparks from Levitius's car as we go into the chicane for the third time of asking, the first chicane that is, as JDJ will have to settle in P5 then with his teammate just behind the P6. But it does look like Levitius has got serious pace here, and if it wasn't for a couple of times running wide and cutting track limits, he would be a lot further up the grid right now as he comes to try and challenge his teammate Panic Potato for that podium position, Rob.
Yeah, well, we know he's got pace. You only got to look at the qualifying times. There's a 3:01.4. Chaz did a 3:01.5, but in practice didn't manage to pull it off, as Levy is going to look up at the inside of Panic Potato, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to defend that slipstream into the Mulsanne corner, and they make their way up to Gulf. Another good slipstream here, Flawed. Levy is on a personal best. It's actually the quickest lap of the race. Is he going to mount a move? I think he's a little bit too far back. No, look at the power of the slipstream.
Wow. Yeah, certainly almost hitting the rev limiter there, and actually did back off as we approach Arnage then. So yeah, maybe thinking about the long game here, and maybe just holding back as well, because that is his teammate Chaz, who obviously doesn't want to ruin his race. But yeah, certainly Levitius looking very competitive at this stage. And yeah, you're certainly right about the slipstream though. It seems like if you know, you don't have the slipstream in front, you are literally a sitting duck. But at the moment we have got Chaz just in front, so he's pulling along Levitius, who is pulling along Panic Potato, but he has got VSR JDJ for company. He's not going to make his life easy for him as he tries to hold on to that fourth position. But yeah, as close as you like as we come through the final corners of lap 3. And Levitius with a great run, Panic Potato with not so good a run, but JDJ is not going to be able to make the move on him. So Levitius will be trying to hound down his teammate, maybe try to power past him down the straight. But Nightcap looks like he's made a mistake here, Rob, because the gap was about 4 seconds about a lap ago, but the gap has come down to beneath that 3-second margin. So has he picked up a penalty when we weren't watching?
I didn't catch anything. I'm just having a quick look at the replay. Looks it through. It's taking me back to the exit of Dunlop. It all looks smooth and tidy, Flood. So whether he's lost that gap earlier on, just wondering whether he ran wide. He has gone purple through that sector, so I'm not sure what's happened there, Floyd. But you're absolutely right. That gap was up to 4 seconds. He is back up to 3, and he's on another purple. So any damage done, he's trying to make amends almost instantly.
Yes, indeed. And actually, quite interestingly, Panic Potato did have a good run on Levitius, but decided not to go for the move. Now, depending on when the rain comes in, the drivers will need to do a little bit of fuel saving, because you can get rough if you push with these really long laps. You're only going to get 4 laps of fuel, so a little bit of fuel saving will make it 5, and then some more fuel saving to make it with 6 laps. So it really just depends when this rain comes in. But Levitius powers past Chaz allows him through, so Levitius up into second position, maybe thinking, okay, Levitius has got that ample opportunity to maybe try and push through and try to catch up Nutcap, Rob.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Just a quick one on the pit stops. We're talking about anybody pit. Latari Racing has more damage on the car. He has come into the pits. Fresh set of tyres. I'm not sure what he's put on there, but he's refueling to capacity. And I get the suspicion it may be another set of soft tyres. It is indeed. So soft for soft for Latari Racing.
Right, okay, yeah. So his race going from bad to worse then. I mean, we're literally at the quarter of the way mark and he's already pitted twice. So, yeah, he is now 1 minute 53 behind Lightning Lorry. He'll be praying that he can have a better stint once the rain comes in and hope that the drivers in front make mistakes aplenty. But, yeah. Someone that's certainly not making mistakes at the moment is Puma Nutcap. Now, obviously, looking at the fuel as well, actually, Rob, so something I have just noticed. So, Puma Nutcap with, just under a quarter of a tank. Levitis with quite a chunk more fuel on board.
And up to P2 as well, Flawed. That gap is coming down rather quickly. So I think Levy managing to save a little bit more fuel in the first couple of laps. They're both committed to a 5-lap first stint. However, I think it's going to be rather close where Levy has got the opportunity here to just go pedal to the metal back to the pits. It's all very close.
Yeah, it is very, very close, and it's certainly a bit of a cat and mouse game here because as commentators, we can only really comment on what we see in front of us, but the drivers will have a lot more information than we do, and they will know when the rain is approaching because we are seeing that it's starting to get a little bit misty out there, Rob, so it does mean that perhaps the rain is imminent. It's just interesting to see whether or not it arrives on this lap, whether it's the start of lap 6 or beyond that. And of course they'll be praying that it arrives on lap 6 at the start because then they'll have the opportunity to get onto them wet tyres halfway through this lap and they're in trouble, I think, Rob.
Yeah, the being on the right tyre at the right time will win or lose you a race. And obviously these guys have been practicing and they've known the settings, they've been practicing. They will know when that rain is coming or have at least a good idea. As you said, we have absolutely no idea. But what you don't want to happen, as you've quite rightly alluded to, you don't want to have to stop this stop, put on the tyre and then the rain doesn't come because those wet tyres or intermediate tyres will absolutely delaminate during the lap. They'll overheat like mad, and when the rain comes they'll already be burnt through and you may as well be on slicks.
Yeah indeed, yeah. And what's happened, Rob?
Just coming outside of it, Chaz got a little bit loose and Panic Potato did have a sniff. He looked up the inside, but I do think I don't want to put it into any sort of like speculation. I do think there's a little bit of team play going on, which is, it's allowed, it's within the rules, but it looked like he could have made a move there and opted not to, just to protect. I imagine he doesn't want to wipe his teammate out because that would be sacrilege in the last race of the season. So I played it a little bit safe, a little bit of the air of caution. Looked like he could have made a move, but opted not to.
Yeah, I mean, we still got quite a long way to go here, Rob. As I mentioned earlier, we've only just got past the quarter of the way part of the race. So, as JDJ has a moment as he entered the Porsche curves and lucky to keep the car pointing forward because it's so difficult to keep control of the car. As Panic Potato dips a wheel on the grass there. I thought he was going to become a cropper there, but is able to fight to live another day as Chaz and Panic Potato come in from P3 and P4. Actually, Nutcap also in Levitis stays out. So this
stays out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So Levitis seeing something that a lot of the other drivers have not seen then. So Nutcap and, what is it? So Chaz, Panic Potato, JDJ, VSR, Richard, all in on the soft tyres. Looks like, Lightning Lorry just jumping curbs there by the looks of it. But he's also decided to stay out as well. So he'll leapfrog all the drivers into P5 then. And, it looks like 5 drivers are going to take the risk here, Rob. And the other 5 drivers thinking, no, I am pitting.
Yeah, the VSR boys, the entirety of the team stayed out for the VSR. Levitis staying out as well as Lightning Lorry. Lightning Lorry can stay out, he's got plenty of fuel. So Nutcap is the first driver on the wet tyre. They've all They're all onto wets, and it's absolutely bone dry. There's no rain, but it is starting. If there is a weather front, obviously we can't see it, Flawed, but it's coming, and it looks like it's going to be coming very soon.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, I mean, we're not even halfway into the lap, so Levitius will be praying that on this side of the circuit that it doesn't rain, and then it's more towards the stadium section. But yeah, currently 9.4 seconds is the lead over VSR Wolfie, and VSR Giller and Fish fighting tooth and nail for that third position. It looks like Giller is going to hold off his teammate for the time being. The gap is about 2.5 tenths, but we know how powerful that slipstream is, so it could well be that Fish is going to pull to the side and power past Giller into third position, which he does, and he'll be looking to harass his other teammate VSR Wolfie for that second position. But yeah, we can see that at the minute though, Rob, the rain is holding off now, so looks like Levitius is going to get away with this with the 4 drivers behind him, and it seems like a genius call from the 5 of them, Rob.
Yeah, just making his way into Indianapolis. So Arnaud's coming next. He's not got much of a lap to go. So you're absolutely right. The fuel is going to be extremely tight. But if he can nurse this car home for which will be the 6th lap on the racing soft tyre, that's going to pay absolute dividends when the rain does come. Because if you look at the likes of Nutcap on the wet tyre, look at the wear on that tyre already. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's already starting to degrade, and the longer that it stays dry, the longer they're going to degrade. I do see a few raindrops in the background. VSR Richard also on the wet tyres in P10, but yeah, you can see on that part of the circuit now, Rob, the rain is starting to come down, but Levitius has made it back to the pits in time to get off them soft tyres. It looks like VSR Wolfie and Fish and Giller also getting back into the pit lane in time, lining Laurie a little bit further back, but with just the back straight to come, I think he also is going to dive into the pits just in time ahead of that rain. So Nutcap fighting with Paddy Potato. I don't know if that was your noises, just looking at the 2 drivers there as they got bumper to bumper there, but Nutcap tried to fight off Paddy Potato as now the water level just getting into that intermediate range. Paddy Potato not making life easy for Nutcap as he weaves from side to side. Paddy Potato up the inside to move past Nutcap with fantastic move. Rob, explain to us that move there. I just took a nose up the inside. He's made the into the braking zone for the Ford curves at the end of the lap. Just took a nose as the VSR guys are all out the pit now. The Paddy Potato up into P2. Wow.
Indeed, yeah, fantastic move. He's got a repertoire of all these fantastic moves in the MSA Cup, and there's another one from him as yes, Levitius has inherited a 9.2 second lead. So when you thought that things weren't going too well for him, well, he's rescued this race, and to a plumb as well, Rob, because the gap is 8.6 seconds. Nutcap is all over the back of Paddy Potato as he swarms from outside to inside. Is Nutcap thinking maybe we're just going to save a little bit of fuel here, because thought he may have gone for the move, but gets on the anchors early as well as Paddy Potato goes a little bit sideways briefly as he went through the entrance of that chicane, and on the exit as well, a little wiggle from him as well. So yeah, very, very close from Paddy Potato, but good skill in keeping that car pointing in the right direction. But yeah, it is a line astern for about 4 drivers then, maybe 5 drivers. In fact, it's actually 6 drivers, and there's a couple more in the background as well, with JDJ and Chaz joining the fight for P3. So very, very close between these 6 drivers, and Paddy Potato Oh, no cap went a little bit wide. Paddy Potato actually losing out to VSR Giller and Wolfie for P3 then.
As you said, that JDJ making a move up the inside. Flawed, I've got to ask the question. What's happened to Chaz? He's down in P8.
Okay, well, I have just saved the replay, but I don't know if I caught it in time. So let's see. No, he was already down in that position. Paddy Potato had a big moment there. Might have to get another on board with Paddy Potato to see exactly how he lost the car. But it looked like he was struggling for traction. Let me see if I can get that replay back up. So let's get on Paddy Potato now. Paddy Potato up into P3 though.
Nutcap's had an off, Flawed. Oh, Nutcap's had an off. He's down into P8. He was making his way up, so I think it was the Dunlop curves, and he's had an off. Just caught the corner of the kitty litter on the edge of the circuit, and he's pulled him back down into 8th, which promotes Giller up into P2 and Paddy Potato into P3.
Oh, yeah, he just went way too deep on the brakes there. And, yeah, oh, lucky not to collect Chaz on the rejoin. But, yeah, sank all the way down into P8 from that second position originally. And, you know, as mentioned, Rob, you know, this weather catches out the best of drivers. And Nutcap, the unlucky driver there.
Yeah, indeed. It just looked like he got a little bit too deep. Oh, there's a lot of ghosting going on, but Giller and Potato are in an absolute battle. And JDJ has joined the party. Giller's picked up a 0.5. JDJ says, thank you very much, sir. Moves his way up into P3. Paddy Potato with a little bit of breathing space now, but that battle got all sorts of spicy there for a while. Wolfie in amongst this as well. The visibility, I don't know what the visibility is like for the drivers, but even on the chase cam and the various cams that we have to our utilisation. Oh no!
Giller's
gone round. No.
Oh wow, and this is exactly what we were talking about, Rob. You know, it's so easy to make a mistake. Let's have a look on the replay and see exactly how he lost it. So as we approached Dunlop then, looked pretty good through there, but then on the exit here, got on the curb. He went through okay. Oh, and then as he tried to get on the power, yeah, it was towards Chappelle. Just caught the exit, making his way through the Dunlop, and it just caught the grass on the exit on the left-hand side. Dipped a tyre in, and just a passenger from there. Thankfully, didn't take anybody else out with him. But these conditions are treacherous, as JDJ has put my heart rate up by about 40 because he nearly did exactly the same at the first chicane. He's absolutely lit the rear up, and the car was almost turned around on him. And Nutcap also up into P5. VSR Wolfie down into P6 as it looks like Chaz is going to challenge him, and Chaz is going to take the inside line for the chicane and move up into P5 as Nutcap goes sideways with VSR Wolfie lurking in the background. Wasn't able to make the move at all, and JDJ's gone round as well now, Rob.
He has, yeah, just again a little bit too eager on the power out of the first chicane. He's lit the rear end up, sending straight into the wall, and he's going to plummet down the... I need water, I need a defibrillator.
Yeah, I mean, even with high traction control, not able to save it, and he's gone straight into the barrier. And I think that's quite a number of drivers now that have picked up damage in the last couple of laps here. But certainly, yeah, with JDJ, who was flying at one point, now becomes another victim of the rain. And yeah, he's going to have to fight it from P7 now. And it's just going to be interesting whether or not he does pit to... Oh, yes, Rob.
Nutcap almost losing it once again, just lighting up the rear tyres, getting a little bit too aggressive on exits, and the rear's trying to step round, and Wolfie's going to take all of the advantage and moves himself up to P3. Nutcap now in P5, Fish on the chase as well. They've always said, Flawed, the weather will bring out the best and the worst of the drivers, and we're seeing it here. here. Some absolutely amazing bits of driving from some, but from others, those mistakes are starting to slip through.
And contact from Virza Wolfie into the back of Nutcap. Luckily didn't pick up damage and didn't hinder Nutcap's driving as well through the Porsche curves. But yes, certainly a little bit of a clang there. But yeah, certainly with Nutcap and Wolfie able to negotiate the rest of the Porsche curves fine, and are starting to catch up with Chaz, who's taking it very, very easy through the last two chicanes, and Wolfie all over the back bumper of Nutcap, and looks like he's going to power past him to move up into P4, though Wolfie backs off. This is very confusing here, Rob, because oh my God, Wolfie, you don't want to be hitting that curb, because that car is going to slide out, and well, we wish all the best for you as you go through the puddles, but yeah, certainly you do not want to be doing that as he tries to fight it with Nutcap out of the exit of Dunlop to or approaching the Mulsanne straight then, and looks like Nutcap has escaped the clutches of Wolfie. And as it's proving here, Rob, this race just changes on an instant as Fish powers past Wolfie into P5. How's that happened?
Unbelievable stuff. I hate to bring some vision onto Latari Racing. He's having a shocker of a race, bless. He's got front wing damage, and just has absolutely no control over that vehicle, no front end downfalls at all, and to make his matters worse, he's now being lapped by the majority of the drivers. P4, so Chaz and that have just gone through. Disaster for Latari Racing, really struggling to find any kind of pace with the damaged car. He's going to have to box again.
Yes, indeed, yeah, losing all sorts of time. We thought Wolfie was struggling for a minute there, but yeah, Latari just having one of them races, unfortunately. These cars will catch some of the best drivers out, as we've seen witness in this race so far. And we're only just past the halfway mark. Oh, what's happened there, Rob?
It's Chaz and Panic Potato still not done, but again, Flawed. The slipstream, we can see how dominant the slipstream here is at Le Mans in these particular cars, but Chaz and Panic Potato have been swapping and changing for quite some time. It's been really close, fair, clean racing between the pair of them, but I'm wondering whether there's been a little bit of an aero game being played.
Yeah, indeed, yeah, it's... I'm so glad I'm in here, Rob, and not out there, because this looks horrendous for the drivers, but yes.
Oh, this looks great. This looks absolutely fantastic. Get me in.
You're a braver man than me, Rob.
I would be probably another 3 minutes behind Latari Racing, but I'd be having all of the fun.
Well, yeah, certainly someone having all of the fun right now is Levitis, because he has developed a 10-second lead over Chaz as he comes through the Porsche curves for the 9th time of asking. And yeah, as smooth as you like, he is nicknamed the Smooth Operator, and yeah, certainly Levitis showcasing his talents in the rain. I don't want to be a bearer of bad news or curse him in any way, but he's showcasing the top split mentality that Levitis possesses, Rob.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, all of these drivers, they're absolutely top category drivers. And, you know, we all have the good races, we have bad races, but you've got a phenomenal lineup of drivers here, and we've literally put them in possibly the worst combination we could possibly find, and they're all doing fantastically well. Talking of drivers doing fantastically well, Nutcap is on an absolute charge at the minute. I think he's closed that gap down. Ooh, as I said that, the commentator's curse, he's lit the rear end up. Traction control absolutely doing wonders there, and he was closing the gap down towards Panic Potato and Chaz, who are locked horns at the moment. Makes his way onto the Mulsanne straight now.
Oh, yeah, and Fish spins round into the barrier. Oh, wow. That was absolutely calamitous from VSR Fish. We was just mentioning how well the drivers were getting on, and then boom, there was VSR Fish into the barrier. And let's take a look on the replay exactly what happened there, because just caught the back end of that shot there, but just as he looked like, okay, straight coming up here, we can get the pedal to the metal, clips the curb and where the puddle was, and spun all the way round into the barrier. And wow, yeah, he's got front aero damage for his troubles, and just lucky, to be honest. I think there was a fair chunk of a gap to JDJ. In fact, the gap is still 9 seconds to JDJ. You know, as we've mentioned all season about JDJ waxing lyrical over his performance in the MSA Cup, even JDJ absolutely struggling out there with the front aero damage. He is also picked up as well in P7. VSR Richard just out of it right now in P8 as well. On his own, no one to battle with, and yeah, quite spread out now, I think, Rob.
It started to settle in. One mover that we have had there is, I think Nutcap has had another little moment, and Wolfie's made his way up to P4, so the gap wasn't huge in the first place, but I think that's either another little mistake from Nutcap there. We've seen a couple the rear end lighting up a little bit, but yeah, Wolfie up to P4.
Yes, VSR Wolfie showing great pedigree in these cars, and doing fantastically well. It just proves you don't have to be the fastest driver out there. Just keep it consistent, keep it on the black stuff, and you know, you will reap the rewards. Nutcap goes a little bit wide on the exit there, so he struggled to turn his car, but just manages to get the maneuver done to keep it on the circuit. But yeah, I mean, to be honest though, Rob, it looks like, even though it is still raining out there, it is drying out a little bit. So it's still very wet out there, of course, but not as wet and torrential the rain as it was a couple of minutes ago. So it should get a little bit easier for the drivers, Rob.
Yeah, the surface looks equally as wet as it was, but the rain does appear to have subsided. So we're just dealing with, we're dealing with a drying track. As you know, I was just on board with Chaz there, and you can literally see the moisture bar at the bottom left of the hood, sort of bouncing up and down. So there is a dry line starting to form. Well, I wouldn't say dry line, a drier line starting to form. But the fastest guy on track at the moment is probably Chaz. He did a 3:32 last time round. Levy doing a 3:34, both in the 33s this lap. It will be interesting to see what the lap delta will be at the end of this lap. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, this is going to start to turn back into a dry race.
Yes, indeed, and yeah, the gap actually has come down slightly from Levitis to Chaz. Last time we looked was just over 10 seconds. It's down to 9 seconds as Panic Potato, using that slipstream of his teammate Chaz, they are going to be side by side, and in fact Chaz is going to let Panic Potato through into second position. So Panic Potato at this stage of the race just looking a little bit more competitive, but maybe you know, we mentioned about how strong that slipstream is for the drivers, so maybe, although they're not allowed to bump draft as such, you know, they can kind of perform kind of like overtakes, like a yo-yo, just one driver going in front, then overtaking on the next corner and things like that, so that can also help. But yeah, certainly working in tandem, I would say. The gap is just under half a second between the two TNR drivers, and actually something that I didn't even notice, and I do apologise to everyone in chat, particularly the TNR team. We have a TNR 1, 2 and 3 currently in this race, which is the first time I've seen that in a long time. But the gap between Levitis and Panic Potato has come down to 7.8 seconds. So is Levitis doing a little bit of fuel saving? Because something again I wasn't recognising is Panic Potato quite low on that fuel right now. Has he got enough in the tank to do one more lap? Because surely the track is not dry enough to go in them slick tyres, Rob.
it's not going to be too far away. But I think at this point, at point of the race, with how far they've got, he's not going to have a choice. He's not going to get another lap in, so he's going to have to either take a set of inters or risk it. The track is drying out pretty quickly. Levy will absolutely get another lap. He'll be fine with the fuel he's got. This is where, you know, before we started the race, this was the kind of thing that I was trying to allude to. You don't want to be out on the wrong tyre. Getting that timing right and waiting for the weather to pass is absolutely crucial. I think, Flawed, they're going to be okay. The first couple of corners are going to be a bit hairy, but I think it's drying up quick enough to make the stop. He's got to make the stop. He's got no fuel.
Yes, yeah, indeed. Yeah, I know Chaz had no choice. In fact, Planet Potato in a similar predicament as well. You could be right. It's going to be touch and go, but I think they're going to be okay. But certainly, they're going to have to be so careful on the exit of the pit lane as both TNR Planet Potato and TNR Chaz come in from P2 and P3. VSR Wolfie also in from P4 and Puma Nutcap also in from P5. So they're all going to be going onto their slick tyres. Now, VSR Wolfie, interestingly, had the fuel, but did decide to go onto the slick tyres. VSR Wolfie and Fish are bumper to bumper. Are they going to come into the pits? Well, Fish comes in. VSR Richard not feeling confident enough to go into the pits to change onto the slick tyres. So VSR Richard is going to propel himself above a few drivers now, I do believe. In fact, yes, all of the drivers in the pit lane to move up into second position, but of course he is going to be at a disadvantage once that moisture level gets beneath that intermediate range, which it actually looks like now, actually, Rob.
Yeah, he's already searching for the wet parts of the circuit. I've seen him go offline a couple of times, trying to dip the tyres into the wetter parts of the track. But that dry line is definitely visible now. We are into inter territory, and I think within probably half a lap, you see there, Flawed, he's stuck straight to the right-hand side where the water is, just to try and get those tyres back down to temperature and make them last a little bit longer. Levy 43 seconds up the road. He's just come through the second of the Mulsanne straight chicanes. Seems comfortable sitting in the middle of the road, though.
Well, okay, so we know that Levitius had a little bit of a lead now because the track is starting to dry out now. So is it advantage to the slick drivers out there? And we know that he had a 7, maybe 8 second lead over Chaz and Paddy Potato. So is that gap going to come dwindling down once Levitius takes his pit stop, and VSR Richard as well, although I think VSR Richard was behind the pair anyways, but yeah, certainly I mean, I think the best way to gauge, Rob, is the gap between VSR Richard now to Chaz. The gap was 9 seconds. It is down to 8 seconds already. So maybe advantage to the slick runners, I think.
Yeah, it's so difficult to call, and because the track is so, you know, keep in mind, Flawed, it's a 3 minute lap. It's hard to tell at what point that crossover is going to come. It could flip at the start of the lap, and obviously the disadvantage is going to be huge. But the delta could change mid lap or late lap, and then that advantage disadvantage gets all kind of skewed. Only time will tell, but what we can say is Levy is about to pit. There's only 4 laps remaining after this one. It's definitely soft tyre now, I think.
Oh, we got to move. Oh, I thought there might have been a move there. Sorry to cut your word there, Rob, because VSR, Wolfie and Nutcap were as close as you like, as you just mentioned. Levitius comes in from pole position on them wet tyres, but Nutcap got very close to the back of VSR Wolfie, and I thought he was going to send one, but of course we know that we've only really got half the track for the dry line, but let's see where... actually, let's stay on board. I thought Nutcap again was going to challenge Wolfie, but deciding against it as we come up to the Porsche curves. So Nutcap looking faster than VSR Wolfie right now, maybe looking for an ample opportunity. Oh, Vizar Wolfie just getting on the wet line there, and it nearly lost grip on the circuit, but just able to hold on to it for that P5. Levicius comes back out on a circuit in P1. The gap between Levicius and Chaz is roughly about 7 seconds as Vizar Richard comes into the pits from P6.
Yeah, Chaz 6.8 behind in P2. It just goes to show, Flawed, the delta offset there was almost negated either way. You could argue that Chaz has got it. He's gained less than a second. It was so close to call, but both of the drivers, you can argue, have made the right call, because Levy's going to have much fresher tyres now for the remaining laps of the race. Fuel, both good for fuel. It's a neck-and-neck fight, and Levy's got a 6-second advantage.
Yeah, and it looks like Nutcap has got the run on VSR Wolfie to move up into P4. Then he was just biding his time, waiting for an opportunity where maybe on the straight there's a little bit more space on the circuit. Now VSR Wolfie, it looked like he got the slipstream back. It just proves how strong that slipstream is. But VSR Wolfie getting on the wet line as he's lost ground to Nutcap, and the gap has already extended to nearly a second there, Rob.
Yeah, easily done. As part of the biggest challenge of a drying track is keeping the car on the dry line. It's a little bit wider now than it was half a lap ago, but making a move on the soft tyre with an ever drying track means you're going to either have to send one down the inside, but that also means you're going to have to put the tyre into the wet parts of the circuit, and that's where problems can start to occur.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Well, Levitius, the gap between Levitius and Chaz is just under 5 seconds. So that gap has come down slightly, but Levitius, knowing that, still a reasonably comfortable margin, I'd say. The gap is manageable, I'd say, with just over 3 laps remaining of this race. Maybe just saving a little bit of fuel. We don't know exactly how much fuel he's got in relative to laps.
He's off. Oh, he was so wide through there. He went so wide through there. That gap's going to come down even more. Chaz is now... He's less than 3 seconds away. Small mistake from Levy, but
And Paddy Potato has made a mistake somewhere, Rob, because he was in P3 down into P5.
No.
So, not exactly sure what happened there. I don't know if I've saved the replay in time here. Just about. He spins out in the background into the barrier, and so far into the barriers that the camera not able to pick him up. So, Paddy Potato losing 3 positions and a chunk of time, Rob.
Yeah, it looked from the little bit of a replay that I managed to get. It looked like he'd got a little bit loose into Indianapolis. Oh no! He's off again. Paddy Potato is off again.
I see him there. Let's have another look on that replay. But yeah, certainly with the tyres overheating from the spins that he's had, and then also not helping, probably getting on that wet line. Let's have a look now. Oh, yeah, he goes wide, and that is where the wet line is. There's probably still a puddle there as well as he spins out, and losing even more time. Luckily, though, having a big gap to JDJ, so it doesn't actually lose out any more positions, but certainly his pride would have been... where's the word? His pride would have been broken. I think
definitely broken. Flawed, sorry to jump in and intervene. That gap at the front is now 1.8 seconds, 1.7. I didn't see any mistakes happening, but Chaz is absolutely on a charge at the moment. 1.6 seconds is the gap. He's pulled an increase of 9 seconds for Nutcap, who's in P3 in a bit of space on his own, so he can settle in. He's got a couple of laps left to try and close that deficit, but I think it's a tall order. Wolfie currently in P4, 4.3 seconds the deficit there. Panic Potato, oh bless, 22 seconds off P4 now.
Yeah, Yeah, unfortunate. That's how easy it is to lose ground and make a mistake. Just that slight moment of just maybe carrying a little bit too much speed or not turning the wheel as much. Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate from Panic Potato. But is still a great performance, although JDJ is starting to come back at him. And of course, something I forgot to mention, Panic Potato does have front aero damage, so JDJ is starting to close that gap. The gap is beneath, well, it was around a second, but 1.2 seconds, and closing as we go down the straight now, when we can actually see physically how much time he's losing, how much speed he's losing down the straight. 285 for Panic Potato. JDJ with the slipstream, 334 kilometers per hour, and easily sails past him into P5, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Picked up the slipstream nice and early, got the job done. You don't see much of an easier pass than that.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the gap still 1.8 seconds between Levitis and Chaz. We've still got 2 laps remaining. Anything can happen in these 2 laps, and certainly with Levitis in a very, very comfortable position in the championship, with Richard down in P7. I mean, we may see a battle here. I know Levitis will not want to lose the race victory. But with the gap coming tumbling down with 2 laps to go, it is just outside that slipstream range, probably more importantly for Levitis, because had Chaz got into the toe, I think he would have been a sitting duck, Rob.
He may have well been a sitting duck, but we saw Chaz and Potato earlier swapping positions almost relentlessly lap after lap, so he may want to get involved. If he can get into the slipstream, will he make a move, or will he stick and bide the time and wait for that final opportunity to get the best out of the slipstream and give him the best possible chance of a win? Overtaking too soon is not always a benefit here.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. So, well, it's certainly going to be close, and it's certainly going to be a blockbuster finish, I think, between the 2 TNR drivers. But yeah, certainly the gap is 1.3 seconds still as we come in to the first chicane now. If Chaz can get a good exit, which he does, the gap has come down to about a second now here, Rob. So I think he's just about in that slipstream range.
Yeah, you might start to see that gap. I think he's just outside. Yeah, he's just outside still. I'm wondering, Flawed, just having a quick look up and down the grid, I'm wondering whether a few of the drivers have left the TC quite high because of the weather, because most of them, some of them didn't start the race with it, but they all still have it on.
Yeah, I think at this crucial part of the race, with still a wet line on either side of the circuit, they're just making sure that no more incidents will occur. But yeah, certainly, you know, looking at the gaps, quite spread out when you go from like Wolfie downwards. 25 seconds is the gap between him and JDJ. 16 seconds is the gap between JDJ and Richard. 11 seconds between Richard and Panic Potato. Then it's a 3.3 second gap to Giller, and now of course Panic Potato has got that damage, so Giller is getting about an extra 50 kilometers per hour down the straight, so that is really hurting Panic Potato right now, as the gap is now down to 1.5 seconds, and if Panic Potato is not careful, maybe even VSR Fish will start closing in on him towards the end of the race. But yeah, the gap now is beneath 4 times. Look at the difference in speed as Giller easily gets past Panic Potato to move up into P7, Rob.
Yeah, talking the gap's coming down, Flawed. The gap at top between Chaz and Levy is now down to less than half a second, just 4/10 of a second as they make their way towards the last sector to do the push. Coming up towards Ford. No, I'm actually a little bit lost on circuit. Oh, towards Ford. They're coming up to the Ford chicane. I got completely lost there. he's not going to make a move there. It'd be suicidal to make a move there, so he backs off. But that gap now, there is every chance up into turn one. If not, we're definitely going to have a slipstream battle down the Mulsanne this time round. It's the final lap of the race. This is where that all-important move, you've got to make it at the right point, Flawed. If you make it too early, you're going to get slipstream back. It's where do you make that move to make it count? Chaz, it's in Chaz's hands at the moment whether he can make this race, make it stick or not.
Yeah, indeed. And just looking at things, yeah, Chaz has got a little bit more tyre wear on his rear tyres, but you still would fancy Chaz at this point. Gets a good exit as well.
Oh,
and
it's a phenomenal exit.
Yeah, indeed, and look at the slipstream pulling him along and powering past Levicius to move up into the race lead. Levicius can only watch him pass him as he sinks down into second position, but as we go into the chicane, we'll see if Levicius can stay to the back of Chaz as we come out of the exit. It's a good exit from Levicius as well, so Levicius could start coming back as Chaz weaves to one side because of course knowing that Levicius is going to have that speed boost down the straight, so I think
I think he's waiting. I think Levy's waiting. It's not the right time. He's waiting. This move is going to be ever so important. He's got to make it at the right time. He's not going to make it here. If anything, I think he might try and make it up towards Indianapolis, because the rest of the circuit then is quite one line, one way through, or he may wait till the very last sector. But we've got a little bit of traffic. They get out the way absolutely beautifully, not into that corner in the Mulsanne, but they're making his way now up towards Indianapolis. He might look at making a move here. He may wait till Ford chicane. He's got a good slipstream though. He's got a very good slipstream. He pops it to the outside, Flawed.
He has indeed, and Levicius will power his way through. Chaz is going to try and hold the inside line, but surely he's going to have to concede, and yes he does, as we come up to Arnage now. So Chaz firmly behind Levicius, and he'll be praying if Levicius now can make a mistake somewhere in the final embers of this race. But a good exit from Levicius as he also weaves to the side to try to cut that slipstream from Chaz, but Chaz is going to have a good run on him here.
Slipstream, holy.
Talk us through this, Rob.
Yeah, it's not going to be a wise decision to make a darting move where he's just going to follow him round for the Porsche curves. What he'll be hoping for now is a perfect exit out of this left-hander, which will give him the run up to the Ford. He's got a little bit wide, but he's still okay. Levy's going to cover off the inside, which he rightly does. He gives him little option, but that inside becomes, Levy's absolutely defended this to perfection. No way through, and he will come home as the race victor at Le Mans. Amazing race between the two. Chaz in P2. Phenomenal stuff, Flawed.
Phenomenal indeed, and Levicius will be crowned the MSA Cup champion for 2025. So congratulations to him, with Nutcap getting the last place on the podium. So a great drive from our 14-year-old, and VSR Wolfie is going to come home in an excellent P4. VSR JDJ has fought his way back up into P5 then, so where he was looking a little bit precarious a few laps ago, P5 will still be an excellent result for him, as really it doesn't mean anything for him for his championship, but certainly for his own well-being. P5, an excellent performance from JDJ as he comes across the checkered line now to claim that position. VSR Richard, well, you know, he's fought valiantly throughout this season, but in the end wasn't quite enough for him to challenge Levicius in this final race of the championship. He comes across in 6th position ahead of his teammate VSR Giller, who is again fought his way back to claim 7th position for him, with teammate VSR Fish. He is just coming through the final corners now. currently in P8. He's got a comfortable lead to Panic Potato, and actually Panic Potato down into P9 as well. 1.2 seconds is the gap between him and Lightning Lorry, and Fish comes across the line in P8. Is Panic Potato going to hold off Lightning Lorry for that 9th position? It's going to be certainly very, very close between the two drivers, but Panic Potato is going to come across the line in P9 and Lightning Lorry in P10. Back in a moment. Okay, so the provisional race results in our last round in the championship, round 10 at Circuit de la Sarthe, saw Levitius just about hold off his teammate TNR Chaz to grab his 6th win of the season and be crowned MSA Cup champion for 2025. But it was an excellent performance from Chaz. It looked like he was going to grab that win, but still the best performance we've seen from Chaz for a very, very long time. He's going to be very happy for that, I'm sure, with Puma Nutcap grabbing his, I think only his 2nd podium of the season, comes home with an excellent 3rd position. We're going to get the thoughts of the podium finishers in due course. It's going to be so interesting to see their responses to our questions. But VSR Wolfie comes home in P4, VSR JDJ in P5, VSR Richard comes home in P6 with VSR Giller coming home in 7th position. Then it was VSR Fish in P8 with TNR Panic Potato, who was fighting a losing battle towards the end there. He could only finish in P9 in the end, just in front of teammate TNR Lightning Lorry in P10. And then Latari Racing had a race to forget as he finishes 2 laps down on the fastest drivers. So yeah, very, very interesting race and a great way to finish off this MSA Cup Championship, Rob. But what are your thoughts on this race?
It's been an absolutely outstanding season, let alone an outstanding race. But what a race to finish on! Indeed, it had a little bit of everything as combinations go. The F3500 at Le Mans, which is challenging enough in itself, but throwing a bit of weather in there as well, and you really did see the drivers on a knife edge for pretty much 90% of the circuit. Just phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, indeed it was. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully everyone that's watching at home enjoyed that one as well. We've been treated to an absolute thriller there. And yeah, SMA again, not disappointing. But yeah, we are going to get the thoughts of our top 3 drivers in a few moments' time. So we will be back very shortly. Okay, so we are in the driver interview booth now, and well, what can I say? It was an absolute fantastic, thrilling last race of the championship, and really looking forward to getting the thoughts of all three drivers. We are going to start off with Puma Nutcap, who managed to bring home a third position. Puma Nutcap, welcome to the interview room, and congratulations on a fantastic third position. How's that feel after that?
Yeah, it's a really solid result. Drove pretty well. Unfortunately, I made a few mistakes. Yeah, Levi and them were really quick. I think I could have maybe been up there with them, but overall, I'm happy with that result. Better than I was expecting.
Yeah, well, again, you know, to finish on podium is no easy feat, and it looks very, very tricky out there. It's fair to be said. It looked like a lot of drivers got caught out, particularly when the downpour came down, and certainly we saw for our very own eyes how topsy-turvy the race was for many of the drivers. But tell us about your emotions as soon as the rain started flooding in.
Well, I was trying to do the 6 laps on the first stint, but I only managed to fuel save for 5 laps. So I, at the time, was looking at the radar, and there was no rain coming. So I thought I might have ruined my race. But luckily, I was praying, and the gods gave. There was rain that came. Yeah, so I was kind of forced into the 5 laps. I couldn't do the 6 laps. Yeah, but ended up pretty well.
Yeah, no, it did end up fantastically well for you in the end. Yeah, I mean, certainly we couldn't call it in commentary, to be honest, because there was so many changes of positions, you know, drivers picking up penalties to drivers really finding it hard to get on the traction out of the corners, particularly in the rain. But then tell us about when you moved on to the slick tyres. I mean, you know, you're thinking, okay, a drying track, but even then, that is a very difficult thing to do because you've got to stay on the dry lines. Tell us about your thoughts when the track started to dry out.
Yeah, so I did a couple practice races before this, so I was kind of expecting it. I've been through worse in the practice races, so overall I was pretty confident I was hopefully not going to make a mistake. Just turned down the fuel mapping to 2, so slightly less power just to hopefully not spin out. TC was turned up slightly, and yeah, just had to keep on the dry line and try and make no mistakes.
Yeah, well, you certainly did a fantastic job of that. Yeah, Rob, first time speaking to Nutcap. If you can give us your thoughts on Nutcap's performance and any questions for him as well, please.
Yeah, congratulations on the P3 on the podium there, last part of the podium. Nutcap, you had some serious pace in the practice session, qualified really well. Was it just those little mistakes? Do you think P2 was on the card and perhaps even a potential P1?
100%. Same as last week, actually. I was doing the 2-stop. I thought maybe that would have been my day, but unfortunately disconnect happened. But yeah, that's just racing. So I'm slowly getting towards the front. Hopefully next season I can really compete up there. Maybe we'll see about maybe a podium overall in the championship.
Awesome stuff. And then obviously you said you suffered the unfortunate disconnect last week. That's hampered the season a little bit, but how have you felt the season has gone so far? Are we happy with our overall position, our performance, and what can you take away from this season?
If I'm completely honest, I'm not at all happy where I am. Unfortunately, like in the 3rd or 4th race, I made one silly mistake, which made my wheel actually almost break. So in a straight line, I had to put my wheel to a certain degree, just keep it on the road in a straight line. So I went down to tier 2 because of that. And then, yeah, a lot of the season I was unfortunately in tier 2. So if I just can eliminate those small little mistakes, I think I have the raw pace to be there. Just it's all experience and learning, and I've taken quite a lot of learning out of this championship, and hopefully I can bring it forward towards my future championships.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Every opportunity and every small, call it a failure if you will, every small mistake is an opportunity to learn, and you've clearly got the pace there. So fingers crossed for next season, and hopefully we'll see you battling towards the top of that championship next season.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a sign of a future champion, I think, there, Rob, because, not happy with his performance but during this season. But, however, we've got top drivers here in South Africa. And to be honest, Nightcap, I've been thrilled all the way through this championship and certain races that you did so well on. Surely you've got to take a little bit of pride, be proud of your season you had in the MSA Cup, and as you said, learn from it as well in future SMA seasons. So maybe we can expect a big performance from you in next season's championship.
Yeah, hopefully. I just want to say thank you to you guys, the commentators, and thanks to Motorsport South Africa and everyone admin team who made us involved. It's been a really great championship to be part of. And yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, we've been thrilled to see you, Nutcap. Congratulations on the third place today, and make sure you have a great. Well, in fact, it's winter for you guys, isn't it? I keep thinking it's summer, but because we're from the UK, of course. But yeah, have a great break, and we look forward to seeing you for season 2 of the SMA.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nutcap. Great talking to you, and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye. Okay, so on to our second place finisher then, and that was, and great to see him back on the podium spot. That was TNR Papaya Racer, or aka Chaz as he likes to be called. A fantastic second position for you. How are you feeling after that one?
Feeling good, stressful, but yeah, feeling ecstatic with the result. It was nice to have a battle at the end as well, and like I say, good to be back in the podium places.
To be honest, Chaz, it looked like you was having a good time with these Formula cars. Obviously, very, very different to driving like your Group 3s and your Group 4 cars. So tell us, so when the combination came up, tell us about your thoughts on this car, and because it certainly looked like you had the pace on Levitius and really took the fight to him.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was, well, I've never driven this car in the game before properly, but then we have a bit of a running joke at the moment, the downforce merchant. So whenever there's high downforce cars, I'm kind of in my element a bit more. So once I got practicing, I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. You can push it to its limit and find the limit, and it's quite exciting when you can do that and get it right. Once I started practicing a bit, I was like, okay, I feel like I could be in for a good race, but then it was the weather was the spanner in the works, and I was like, oh, it had to be that good combination I'm looking forward to. It's going to be quite a tricky one, but rather that for the spectacle and entertainment. But yeah, I'm sure it was a good watch.
It certainly was a great watch. I mean, certainly in the last couple of laps, I mean, we just didn't know whether or not you was going to take the win or Levitius, and then of course right at the death as well. I mean, tell us about your thoughts. I mean, was you trying to fight your way to try and sneak that race victory over Levitius, or was Levitius's defense just that job too good for you?
Yeah, look, it was tantalizing seeing the gap come down quite a bit every lap, and I think I knew I had good pace in those sort of changeable conditions or those slicks on a tricky track surface. And as I was closing it down, I was like stepping it up as well, because the gap wasn't coming down as much anymore. But once I got there, and especially on the last lap, I kind of knew that once you're in slipstream, as long as you're in a good position, you can get by pretty easily. So then it was about, where do I do it in terms of where on track? Do I do it first straight, second straight, or after that? And I thought, let me just do it straight away, try and see if I can gap him through the rest of the track. But fair play to him, he stuck with me and then was able to get me back before, I think, Indianapolis. And then from there, I was like, I'm going to give him my all to try and overtake him again, and stuck very close through the S's and through the curves. And yeah, I think if it was a dry track, I might have tried something a bit bolder. But with the sort of dry line and not being too wide at that point, you didn't have much option. And obviously, him on the side, I couldn't really try anything fancy. So, no, his defense was good. I think his strategy was also good at the end there in terms of where he got me, not giving me any opportunity to get him back. So, no, but it was entertaining though, being able to race him one-on-one properly at the end like that. And he didn't want to do anything crazy because the championship to win. So no, it was exciting to be a part of, but like I said, a bit stressful. Heart was racing. But yeah, glad we made it through in one piece.
Yeah, no, it was a great spectacle, and as I said, it kept myself and Rob on the edge of our seats. I'm pretty sure everyone in chat will agree with us as well. Yeah, fantastic performance from you, Papaya Racer, and yeah, we look forward to seeing how you get on next season. I'm sure you'll be back with a vengeance for SMA Season 2, but be proud of this performance today. It was a great performance from you. But yeah, Rob, any questions for our second place finisher at all?
It's lovely to meet you finally, Jazz. And thank you also for explaining the downforce merchant thing. 'Cause I saw that a couple of times in the chat, and I was thinking, what on earth are they talking about? So that makes a lot of sense. Congratulations, phenomenal P2, challenging combination, visibility, really challenging through the night cycle or the early morning cycle, and then obviously with the rain. And you were constantly in and out of a battle with Panic Potato early on, sort of mid doors. Just talk to me a little bit about how you bumper to bumper or wing to wing and keeping it all that clean. How was the visibility? How did you manage that? So it was just incredible to watch.
Nice to meet you too. And but yeah, it was always tricky. I think sometimes you have to kind of go out of the line to try and spot your braking zones, especially a bit early on. But then again in the rain, yeah, it wasn't easy. I think there was maybe once or twice where I completely missed it when I was behind a lot of guys and just about got away with not smashing into a bunch of people. But yeah, no, that was tricky amongst all the other things. But yeah, myself and Panic Potato, I think we had a good battle. But also, we won't come together in terms of trying to maximize each other's races to benefit each other, which I guess speaks to our teamwork together as well as a team.
It was absolutely fantastic to watch, and just impeccable work. The combination, it was clearly challenging, but you made that little battle look easy. So congratulations to both of you. Congratulations on a P2 this evening. How are we feeling about our overall championship standings? It was P5 before the beginning of the night. I'm not sure of the points. I don't know whether, but currently in P5 before the points are awarded for tonight's race. Just talk us through your season. Are you happy? Do you feel like you could have done better, or
Yeah, I mean, it's been I'd say a pretty disappointing. And if I come up with a P5 at the end of it, I'm disappointed with that. Then there's still, some room to improve. But I think, in the middle of the season, I didn't really connect with any of the combinations and found it quite difficult. So definitely things to work on, especially in the GR3s for me. Finding pace in those, but at least I know where I can improve, where I need to improve as well. So, yeah, a bit disappointed that I haven't been able to be here a bit more in the top three, kind of just the first and last races. But no, I think I'll definitely be working hard and pushing towards SMA Season 2 and hopefully giving an even better account.
Okay, so just a bit of information for the SMA next season: all Formula cars.
I'm glad.
No, fantastic podium. It's been a fantastic season to watch, just as a viewer, and I've been great commentating on your races. Take a well-earned break and hopefully get to commentate on your racing again next season. Congratulations.
No, thank you, appreciate that. And last final word as well for Levy. I mean, he deserves the championship. It was good battling with him, but yeah, congrats, Levy, on your championship, and yeah, thanks to SMA and MSA for having us around again.
Yeah, thank you so much, TNR Chaz. As you said, yeah, you won the first race of the season, and you nearly grabbed home the race victory in the last race of the season. But I still think you should be very proud of your performance. You know, definitely room for improvement for the next season, but still to finish in the top 5, I still think, you know, it is still a great position to finish in. There's some absolutely fantastic drivers that we've had in Tier 1 in the MSA Cup. So, yeah, really look forward to seeing how you get on in Season 2. And, yeah, have a great break. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see you more often in the podium interview room in the future.
Thank you. Hope so too. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaz. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, and then on to our race winner and the MSA Cup champion of 2025, Levitius. How are you feeling after that race, and how are you feeling overall as well?
Man, what a way to end the season. I'm not feeling great, to be honest with you, but in terms of my actual health, but I managed to pull it through after a monumental day. Managed to pull out this W against the odds, I feel, because at one stage I didn't think I was going to race tonight. I'm just stoked. Chaz and I had a great battle. The strategy was perfect. Had to get my elbows out with some drivers, but it was all clean, and I just couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, especially in this race where you had to work for that race victory, because at the start of the race, yeah, you picked up a couple of penalties and you sunk down to, I think it was like P5. But yeah, tell us about your race, because obviously you did propel yourself back into the race lead, but also you tried something a little bit different to a lot of the drivers, because they all pitted a lap before you. So when you stayed out for that extra lap, did you think at the time, oh, maybe that's the wrong call, or was you always confident that you would still come out in the race lead?
So at the beginning of the race, I couldn't see where I was driving. The sparks were just ridiculous. So I just couldn't see, basically. There were sparks from like 4 cars ahead. So when I was turning into Tête Rouge onto the Mulsanne, I just had to guess if it was on the track or not. I think maybe in the future we should be driving at daytime for these cars. But then after that, I was focusing on doing a 6-lap stint for the first stint, no matter what, because I knew it was better to drive in slightly damp conditions than wear out my wets on a full lap of dry conditions. So that was my thoughts going in. And it did look like that was not going to work out initially, but the weather was actually moving quite slowly. So I got into the pits with like at least 15 seconds to spare, which was great. And then the wet stint was just consistent. I just managed the gap. And then I stayed out for an extra lap on the wets, which was just out of just the safety. I knew I had to just do a good job this race to win the championship. So if I was going for the optimal strat, I would have probably gone on softs on that lap. It was dry enough, but I was just trying to be safe, to be honest with you. And then that last lap, yeah, it was crazy. Chaz had amazing pace, and I just had to basically just time the place where I actually passed him, and it did work out because I had a bit more fuel than him, and yeah, it was just a great battle with Chaz overall.
Yeah, well, I mean, myself and Rob were commenting towards the end, because there was a couple of times where on sort of like the back straight after the Mulsanne straight, you had the opportunity to make the move on him, but then you sort of pulled out of it and then just made the move at the right time. So from that point onwards, was you confident that you was going to finish in front of JDJ from that point onwards?
I was confident to finish in front of Chaz. I knew that when he passed me on the first part of the Mulsanne, I knew, okay, full fuel save mode for the next 2 straights. So I knew that I would have a fuel advantage, because I knew that when we were talking strategy in the team practice, we were aiming for 20% of fuel per lap for the last stint, because we were only going to do 4 or 5 laps. So I knew that I had saved a bit of extra fuel, that I knew that if I passed him on going into Indianapolis, the next run to the Porsche Curves, I could just absolutely nuke my fuel and know that I won't have to worry about it running out. And it was close, but I knew that going into Porsche Curves, it's really narrow, the dry line. So going side by side it's tricky. And then going to the last two chicanes, it was side by side as well, but I just managed to park the bus basically, and almost crashed on the last corner, but luckily I didn't do that. It was all calculated, mostly, yeah.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way, but a little bit too close for comfort, I think. And yeah, I mean, myself and Rob were sweating in the background. I can only imagine what you was going through at that time. But in the end, you did grab the race victory. You are confirmed as the champion of the MSA Cup 2025, doing it in style as well. Sixth win of the season, so congratulations to you, Levitius. And Rob, finally, any questions for Levitius?
Yeah, first and foremost, absolutely phenomenal season. Congratulations on the victory. It was a tough start of the season, Levy, but you did say last week in the interview room that the tail end of the season was going to favour your driving style and better combinations. This one, however, it did throw up a bit of a storm with the weather and that night start, and you've already said visibility was challenging. I did just want to ask really quickly, that sort of like mid-period of the race where you were out in front on your own, did that change your strategy at all? Were you expecting to be in some slip, or had you planned to be out in the open and just managing your own race?
I'm pretty certain if Chaz stayed out with me, we would have been racing the entire time. It was actually beneficial to not be on your own for this race, just to slipstream with each other down the straight. But once I knew I had this 10-second gap, which was a nice little token just to tell me, just, okay, listen, you don't need to drive as much to the limit. Just had to keep it nice and consistent, and it definitely showed with how I was taking some corners a bit more carefully than the drivers behind. I could see they were gaining on me, but then they were squabbling with one another. So yeah, it was tricky part of the race because it just felt like it was going on forever. But once it stopped raining, I felt, okay, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and just had to keep it on the road. And yeah, it was overall very tricky, but I just made it work.
Yeah, I think we called it in commentary. Myself and Flawed were discussing where the tipping point of that tyre would change. It's a long lap, and he said nearly a 3-minute lap, and it was questionable whether that the wet tyre was going to. Obviously, you stayed out an extra lap, and we were questioning in the commentary whether that tyre would remain or whether the delta would swing back the other way. And it feels like either option kind of worked just as well as the other one. I think you only lost a very insignificant amount of time in the pits by staying out. So what would have changed, you think, if you would have gone for the softs earlier?
To be honest, going with the softs at the beginning would have just meant that there was just a little bit more risk, but you just had to keep it within the confines of the drier line. I think if let's say, hypothetically speaking, it was my championship rival fighting for the victory, I would probably have pitted on the same lap, but it was just risk reward here. It was, I think Richard was like P8 and I was P1. I was like, there's no need to risk anything. If I come second and Chaz is winning, he's still taking points off my rival, so it's a guarantee championship. So it was just basically playing the championship game the whole time.
It was an excellent race. It was an excellent strategy. And when Flawed questioned you just now, I pretty much got in my brain coming towards that last couple of laps, and I kept saying repeatedly that the pass here is the most important bit. If you do it too early, you're going to get overtaken again. And it was nice to hear you play out everything that I'd kind of got in my head that was going on, and you just absolutely nailed it. Textbook defense into the forward chicanes at the end, no way through, and just a brilliant strategy, a brilliant race, and a brilliant season. So congratulations, you are the champion.
Thank you so much, Roy. I appreciate it, man.
And yes, as I forget to turn on my mic there. So yeah, Levitius, obviously another championship said and done. We've got the SMA Season 2 coming up at the latter part of the year. So is that putting you in full confidence ahead of the next season?
Well, I've gone through everything this season. Like, I started terribly. I had so many things against me, stacked against me, like moving a house, penalties, it's just several things that just weren't going my way. So I had everything against me, and I still came out on top. So I don't have to say anything else. It's just the driving talks for itself, to be honest with you. And I'm just stoked. I'm really excited.
Yeah, well, so you should be really, Levitius. Yeah, you've been, as you said, you've gone through the mill really in terms of emotions. You said you didn't start off too well in the championship, but you certainly did go from strength to strength and encounter quite a number of challenges along the way, and you've come out on top as champion of the MSA Cup for 2025. So congratulations to you, Levitius, and take a well-deserved break, and look forward to seeing you next season.
Definitely. Thank you, Flawed. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Levi. Take care. Bye-bye. And also as well, guys, so we do have a special interview with the SMA and MSA promoter. Most of you will know him as Robin Williams. Robin, are you there? And pleasure to have you alongside us right now.
Good evening, Sean. Just checking that you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Robin.
Awesome. Just good evening to firstly all our SMA members and our viewers and our broadcast team. I'm just happy to share some time with you guys. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, great to hear. And of course, Robin, you're a driver in the MSA Cup. You was in Tier 2. Tell us about your race this evening.
I'm going to mention Renier with regards to my race this evening, because obviously this car, it was a beast, on dry, and I felt I had a consistent pace there. But this entire week on the wets, I seemed to just not get the hang of the car and binned it every single race.
Oh no.
That was my concern. But going into the race, long story short, I managed the P2.
Oh, nice.
I'm quite happy with that. And I didn't bin it. So, but yeah, well done to the race director. I think this season he has really put us to the test. The final race is probably the most challenging for me. But yeah, no, it was a good race for me.
Well, great to hear, and I know it was very, very close in the championship for Tier 2. I do wonder where that puts you, but yeah, certainly great to end the season on a high. So congratulations to you on the second position. But yeah, I've got a few questions, I suppose, just to throw your way, Robin. So hopefully I don't put you on the spot too much here. But yeah, a few. We need to know about a few things about the future of the sport in South Africa. Obviously, the plans for SMA going forward. But before I get to them questions, I was going to ask. So obviously, you are the MSA promoter, you are also the SMA promoter. So what's it like to be the promoter for both organisations?
I think it's an honour to be in this position, really, to be honest with you, and then to get all the support from all these drivers and members, and it's just an amazing experience, actually. I think the challenges is probably trying to integrate MSA into sim racing, and that sim racing kind of like understands the processes of Motorsport South Africa and why we have a particular set of rules, and going into the future, obviously with the FIA rules, which, as you heard, some of the GSRs there are 300 pages long. So there's a lot of red tape and things that you have to kind of like go in and actually really go into the sport and do research and see what other international leagues are doing, so that you can kind of like put SMA and Sim Racing South Africa on the same platform. The end of the day is the promoter's job is really just to put the the community onto the right platform to race professionally and get their Springbok colours and growing the sport basically is kind of like what the responsibility. But it's a huge honor though. Every day, I mean, after watching every stream, I'm just grateful that we have such a supportive community and a great broadcast team. Everything just worked out well, I think, for SMA on the startup of the league. So very proud of that.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, it's a fantastically run organisation, and you certainly make life, like myself, Rob, and co, a bit easier for us to run the broadcast. So I've got to say a huge thank you for all the work that you put in the background that doesn't often get the praise that perhaps you deserve. But yeah, I was going to ask actually, Robin. So obviously this has been a fantastic MSA Cup championship. But what is the future for sim racing in South Africa, and obviously particularly for SMA as well?
Well, quite a bit actually. I'm not going to keep you up too long. Obviously, we can't let all the secrets out, Sean. We've got to keep them on their toes and excited for what's coming up.
Yeah.
But quickly, look, we've obviously got the first international. Well, not first. It's our second international that we've hosted. But this will be, I think, one of the most challenging ones with regards to racing against Finland on the 24th of August, where the top South African drivers coming out of the MSA Cup will be selected to race against Finland, who I must say has some serious pace. I know Liam has driven with a few of them, so we've got quite a bit of top split guys that we're going to be racing against on the 24th. So that's coming up. And then we've confirmed the Africa Cup for 2026, which is around about in February. And then obviously the nationals, which will be held in the beginning of Feb and will run to August. So that's kind of like what we've got on the books for 2026. But we've also got some special events and trying to delve into the junior youth program as well. So there's a couple of things that we want to work on. But in a nutshell, I say we want to work on, but it's the community that needs to understand the vision and the path that we're going down. Yeah, sometimes there are challenges, sometimes we have disagreements, but the community is always pulled through, and I've got so much respect for every single one of them for assisting Sim Racing South Africa and helping grow the sport, because without them, we'd be able to do nothing. And by the way, when I say we, all this that is happening is most certainly not me. It is our admin team. Just want to point out to Fred Briggins, Lanier, and Andre, who for as long as I've been in this position have supported and helped, and it's a joint effort with the team leaders as well this year, which we've introduced and had meetings with all the team leaders, involve them in some decisions, and going forward, I think we're on the right path to getting those Springbok colours.
Yeah, well, speaking of Springbok colours, so of course the MSA Cup, primarily for South Africa and on behalf of the Motorsport South Africa Federation. Tell us, because obviously I'm from the UK, so in your words and in your thoughts, Robin, tell us how proud and what kind of what this means to South African people in general, being involved in such a highly prestigious competition like the MSA Cup.
Okay, so I'll kind of like go on. So the people that have spoken to me about what we're trying to achieve, I think the community, I can safely say, I think all of them are proud to race at the standards. And I'll be very honest with you, I've been involved with, obviously, with league racing prior to SMA, with logistical nightmare racing. And if I look at the growth and what we must realize is that not only have we seen tier one drivers just kind of like raise the level of driving and the standards of driving fast and clean. And yeah, we've had racing incidents, but that has fallen down to all the lower tiers as well. And all credit to everybody. I feel, when we say let's grow the sport together, it's actually about let's make each other faster, let's make each other cleaner, let's have more respect on and off the track. All of those type things, I think, is what we've shown to Motorsport South Africa, and that we are able to race in kind of like a fair standard style of racing, which is where we want to get to. So as far as how proud I am as a driver to have raced alongside and to watch the top split drivers in South Africa perform to a level where I feel we could take South Africa sim racing anywhere and race against anybody, and we'd be competitive. And that's kind of like what we pushing out to all the Motorsport South Africa admins. They're all watching and they're all seeing. And at the moment, sim racing South Africa under the SMA banner has been the best league this year so far. And I hope that the bottom line and the bigger picture is that we kind of like have all sim racing South Africans under one banner. But that being said, that would take time, and we'll hopefully get there one day where, we've got some great leagues running at the moment, even with ACC, LNR, and GTSA. These are great leagues, and lots of respect going out to them, because they're also growing the sport, But it would be nice to see these leagues maybe integrate with us over the MSA Championship going forward. They could obviously still race their own championships under their banners, but it would be nice to see some of those other guys. And I know there's real fast guys out there as well who most certainly can give the top split and the lower drivers competition. So it would be nice to see a growth with regards to that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's well, I have to say, in my experience in Gran Turismo, being part of leagues as a driver, but also as a commentator as well, I have to say it's a big credit to you, Robin, and the SMA community for having some of the best races that I've seen on Gran Turismo. I mean, the respect between the drivers, the actual pace of the drivers, and the amount of times that I've lost my voice in commentary as well, Robin.
Yeah,
I've
witnessed it a couple of times.
I couldn't count on the fingers I have in my hands. So as I say, it's a big credit to yourself and the SMA community. And we really look forward to seeing how the future championships unfold and us kind of grow as a community as well. I think. Which is always a great advertising for sim motorsport, but particularly I'd say for sim motorsport in South Africa as well. Congratulations on a fantastic job that everyone has put in together. I actually do. I think Rob has also got a question for you, Robin. So, Rob, do you want to fire that question away?
Less of a question, more of well, first of all, thank you ever so much for a fantastic season. It's been an honour to be a part of the broadcast team for the last couple of races, but I have been a viewer for all of this season. It's my kind of first season with you guys, and it was just a point I wanted to make about I know some of the challenges around obtaining sim equipment. And obviously you've got an absolutely fantastic sponsor in SimCave. Do you see this as a problem that's going to continue being able to get up-to-date modern, well, not necessarily modern, but I know the delivery and stuff like that can be quite challenging. Do you see this any steps forward in that area?
Well, I can't really speak on behalf of what JP from SimCave is about to do. I know it's in the process, but he is signing, I think, some new deals with Fanatec and possibly some other.
Oh, amazing.
to bring things in and hopefully at an affordable cost. However, that being said, I'm going to point out we have TNR Captain Slow, for instance, amazingly quick on a controller. So and that's the nice thing about the game, I think, and the sport is that you're not really. You could go with an entry level wheel. I'm racing with T300 with load cell pedals, and I think that's kind of like a good average cost for all sim racing drivers in South Africa. However, that being said, um, you know, I've seen people on less, let's say, for instance, we got I can't get his name, another TNO driver as well. He's racing on an average wheel and he's just as fast as Levi. So gear can be an advantage, but I think if you've got the right skill, you could pull it off with pretty much any average entry level wheel. So yeah, that's quite a big thing I've been seeing in our league as well. Lots of guys have upgraded to fanatics, but you still need the skill and the in these type of races, you also need a lot of race IQ. Liam has shown that it's not just about pace sometimes, but also about strategy. And so, yeah, it takes a whole lot of things to be a good driver.
I can't disagree with you at all. You're absolutely right. The equipment doesn't mean a thing. I think what's really important is the community that you've got around you, having trust and faith in the other drivers around you, and that level of communication, and knowing that you can go into a wheel to wheel battle and you're not going to be taken out. And I think you know, within the community that you've got and what we've witnessed this season, you've got an incredible bunch of drivers within the community that put on shows for us every week, and it's been a pleasure to watch. And I'm going to keep you any more, but I will thank you for everything that you do and everything that you've done for this season, and I hope that it continues to grow and we get to see some more amazing racing like we have tonight. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. I mean, I'd like just before Sean cuts me off, I know we did say that it's going to be a short interview, but I just want to firstly thank the SMA community. I think everybody needs to just like pat yourselves on the shoulder there. It's been a challenging. I mean, we're doing a lot of racing. It's a lot of time being put in to your practice sessions. It's created that chemistry within the league that our viewers don't unfortunately see. But there's so much positive things coming out of our chats and lots of competition, and it just raised I think, the bar with regards to sim racing South Africa, and then our sponsors. So to run these type championships and leagues and broadcasting, we wouldn't be able to do it without Gert. Some people know him as JP from Simulator Cave. So just I want to say a huge thank you to Simulator Cave and to TGSE. And then we've got a few anonymous sponsors that don't care to be mentioned. You know who you are. We really appreciate the support and commitment. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. And then to the admin team, the SMA admin team, who's also gone through quite a bit of stressful moments, and basically got through them, and just remain positive, not losing the vision. I want to just say thank you to them. It's been a complete honor to be amongst gentlemen that have the same passion for the sport and to grow it. And then to the broadcast team. Wow, I'm just going back another year. If I look at what we were doing and where we've been able to showcase South African sim racing on such a high level with the broadcast team, it's just perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better guy. Liam introduced me to Sean, and I think that was a year ago, and myself and Sean and the broadcast team have just grown in such tremendous ways to grow the sport and showcasing. The broadcast is such an important part of growing the sport and getting international leagues to see what we're doing. And I must tell you, we've had thumbs up from quite a few of the countries about how we run our league and our broadcasting. So, just thanks to Sean. I think you really need to be proud of yourself and the rest of the broadcast team, because you guys have just basically blown me out the water. Every single broadcast has been amazing, and I really just want to thank you for that. And then last but not least, I suppose to my family for supporting me, for being able to do what I can do. It's lots of hours, lots of work going into it. But yeah, just thanks to everybody. SMA, you guys are amazing. Let's continue on the path that we're on, and let's grow the sport, and let's go and chase those spring jerseys, boys. Time to get capped.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, and thank you, so much for the kind compliments as well, Robin. It's been a real pleasure on so many levels for me, I think, Robin. It was a bit, when I started on my SMA journey, I was a little bit dubious in terms of like where we was going to go from here, but I've thoroughly enjoyed my time during what was the first season of the SMA, and then obviously we're on to the MSA Cup as well. As I mentioned, the racing has been so good, and as you know, Robin, as well, with my commentary, it's all down to passion. It's all down to what I think and feel at the time, and I haven't had the chance to rest at all, Robin. And
we know that. We're going to take a good break. Till the Finland race, obviously, and then we'll have another break. We're looking at season 2. Probably I may stand to be corrected, but it looks like it may be in September, maybe mid-September, around about there, just to give the guys a break. It's been a lot of racing.
Mm-hmm.
I think something that we need to maybe lessen in 2026, because I know guys are putting in a lot of time, and possibly, it would be better if we have a shorter season. So yeah, but we'll obviously send out our notifications to our members, and we'll take it from there. But Sean, you've been amazing, bud. It's been a pleasure working with you. I mean, I think myself and Sean speak about 3-4 times a week, if not more. So, but it's really an honor to have worked beside you, and let's continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, if you think this conversation has been long, then you should definitely hear our conversations in the background, because we could chat for our countries, I think, Robin. But no, Robin, thank you for your time, and explaining a little bit more about SMA and what's to come for SMA and South African sim motorsport in general as well. Let's grow the sport together, as you mentioned, and just keep going from strength to strength. And obviously a big thank you to everyone in chat, everyone that's supported SMA as well through our what is it, 7 months now, isn't it, Robin? 8 months probably, or 7 months. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, I'd say from the start of the SMA season 1, I'd say it's 7 months now. But yeah, it's been a great journey, and we continue to power on and grow into bigger and better things. So, yeah, thank you so much, Robin, for your time, and definitely get that well-deserved break. And so confirm now, Robin, the South Africa versus Finland international race is Sunday, the 24th of August. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct, Sean, and really looking forward to that. Looking forward to all those top split boys racing with each other. They've been racing against each other for an entire 2 seasons, and it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to race as a team under the South African flag. So that's going to be very exciting, because, as I said, Finland is no slow. They've got World Series drivers there that we'll be racing against, so that's going to be amazing to see. But looking forward to it.
Yes, myself included as well. So, yeah, do make sure, guys, that you do tune in on Sunday, the 24th of August at, I do believe, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Africa time for that one. So, yeah, make sure if you haven't already, do hit the like button on this broadcast. And obviously, if you're new to the channel, do hit that subscribe button as well. We've got some fantastic racing action to follow in the very, very near future. But yeah, Robin, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we'll speak really soon.
Yep. Have a great evening, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And to all our viewers and members, have a blessed week and stay safe.
Thank you, Robin. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And yeah, just to reiterate as well, guys, you know, we'll be absolutely lost without our sponsors for this season's MSA Cup. So a huge thank you to the simulatorcave.com, the haven for all your sim racing requirements in South Africa, whether it's Fanatec or Moza, or as well as them fantastic cockpits that this company provides as well as TGSC Cape Town Golf Academy, the hotbed of nurturing talented golfers to reach full greatness. Yes, certainly the MSA Cup and SMA would be absolutely lost without these two sponsors, and it certainly wouldn't be possible to show such a great event through 2025. But also as well, please subscribe to our socials at Sim Motorsport Association on all our platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or our growing community on Discord, and of course this very channel on YouTube. So make sure if you are new to the channel, smash that subscribe button, as I do believe we was chasing 250 subscribers before today. I'm not 100% sure if we've smashed that or not, but if you are new, please do hit that subscribe button. And also as well, when you're done watching, please do hit that like button to help with our YouTube algorithm so it spreads our content across the platform. We so appreciate you all. If you would like to get involved in future championships as a driver, please do contact Robin Williams, our SMA GT7 promoter, for further details. The email links will be in the description below and on our YouTube homepage. And a big thank you to the SMA Productions and the SMA admin for their tireless efforts they've provided us all season long, as well as our amazing moderators in Dana, CJ, Double DP, and of course the one and only Robin Williams for keeping everyone under control and welcoming in all our new viewers into our YouTube chat. I'm going to get the thoughts from Rob G. Barker in due course, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Okay, so Rob, yeah, we are about to close this broadcast and this season's championship in the MSA Cup, but it'll be lovely to know your thoughts and feelings towards the last round of the MSA Cup and this championship as a whole. And actually I've got probably a very difficult question to ask you here. Your driver of the championship for the MSA Cup 2025, Rob.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season, Flawed. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of with the comms team for the last couple of races. Just thinking back on the season, we've had some incredible battles up and down, from, you know, whether it's the podium or people battling for, you know, P8, P9 or whatever it may be. Given the rough start of the season, the driver, you know, he's a champion yet again. It'd be difficult not to give it to Levitius. He's drove a phenomenal season through some challenges as well, but he's came out at the back of the season as the champion for 2025. So you could give it to all of them. You genuinely could give it to all of them. They've all been fantastic.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Rob. I mean, I would say particularly with Levitius as well, as you said, he had a rough start to the championship. It didn't go all his own way, but he had to really dig deep and really try to find that extra pace to really come, fighting back. And he has won this season's championship of the MSA Cup with aplomb. So I'm also going to have to give it to TNR Levitius as the driver of the MSA Cup 2025. Rob, I've got to say a huge thank you to yourself for joining me and providing your awesome and insightful commentary in the past couple of rounds. And it's certainly been a real honour to have you back alongside me, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourself, and I really hope to have you back in future seasons to come.
We'll see what we can do. I'm a busy man.
You are indeed. I had to fight tooth and nail to have you for the last couple of rounds, but you've done an absolute fantastic job, Rob, as I knew you would. And huge pat on the back for you, Rob, and I hope and pray I can get you back. Guys, Rob G. Barker is also a Twitch streamer, so please do check him out. On the description you can see in front of you, Rob G. Barker 182 is his Twitch channel, so please do share the love, follow and tune in to his Twitch channel. But Rob, just a quick reminder on what content to expect from yourself in the coming future.
Yeah, absolutely anything from weekly GT7 league, weekly WRC league, potentially even a weekly LMU league. But yeah, very similar passions to what we've got here at SMA and with the MSA Cup as well. It's about growing communities together. And the one thing that I pride myself on is making sure that racing is accessible for everybody. So even if you're not up to A plus standard, you're always welcome to come and race with us.
Yeah, so guys, do make sure you throw that question over to him by tuning into his Twitch channel, Rob G. Barker 182, and please do smash that follow button for him as well. But thank you so much, Rob, for an amazing season, and hope to speak to you soon.
It's been a pleasure, Flawed. Thank you, and thank you everybody from the organisers to the moderators to the the advertisers to the drivers and to the rest of the commentary team. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, Rob. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. The MSA Cup Championship is done, and what a ride it's been. A massive thank you firstly to Robin Williams, our SMA GT7 promoter, the SMA admin crew. A special mention actually has to go out to Dana for coming in at the last minute for our SMA productions team, responsible for producing a lot of the slides and overlays you've been seeing recently. Absolutely fantastic work from her, and I really do thank you so much for that. Also, my incredible co-commentators that have featured at various points this season. We've had Hugh Hattrick, Slow-Mo, McNulty, Tucson Box, and last but certainly not least, Rob G. Barker. And of course, the fearless drivers who left it all out on the track. You've brought the heat, the drama and the glory. But lastly, a huge thank you goes out to you, our amazing SMA community, supporting us on every step of our journey. So on behalf of MSA and the SMA production team, we just want to say a big thank you for your continued support, and hope you've enjoyed the official Motorsport South Africa Cup 2025. But I've been your main host, Flawed Genius Gaming, so stay safe out there, have a fantastic break, and we'll be back on Sunday the 24th of August August at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Africa time for our coverage of the South Africa versus Finland, our team international race event. But it's been an absolute honour. Next season we go harder, faster and louder. Until then, the season is done, legends are made, and we will see you at Lights Out. Goodbye for now.